From Victoria through Hyde Park up to Lancaster Gate, this was Brighton's best away performance in a long time. On Saturday, 500 supporters marched through central London, demanding the Football Association take action against their chairman Bill Archer, who sold the Goldstone ground, has yet to line up a replacement home, and who refuses to deal with a takeover consortium.
We have a willing buyer in Dick Knight and the consortium. We don't yet have a willing seller in Mr. Archer. Now, if Mr. Archer is prepared to relinquish his shareholding, as he has publicly stated but hasn't actually done, then we'll be obviously very happy and very pleased, because at the end of the day, it's the football club that's got to survive. It isn't the board of directors. It's a football club that must go on into the next century.
Mr. Archer, who lives in Lancashire, has never been popular at Brighton, but his standing in the opinion polls has hit rock bottom. There have been protests before, violent ones. The Goldstone ground has become a no-go area for the Brighton chairman. But Saturday's march was a remarkable show of positive fan power. At the end of a week when the FA made their first move, Chief Executive Graham Kelly wants the CBI's arbitration panel to bring an independent resolution to the crisis. Along the south coast, Gillingham said they would allow Brighton to share their Priestfield Stadium from next season. But that doesn't impress the Brighton fans or the Football League, who say it will only be ratified if they're given cast-iron assurances the club would be moving back to Brighton within a specified timescale. Mr. Archer says Brighton will have a stadium for the 21st century and says protesting fans should stop pressing the self-destruct button.
We'll get behind the club, we don't get behind the board of directors. Mr. Archer has made a number of promises in the past, and they've all seemed to be broken. We don't have any faith that the present board can deliver a new stadium at all. The councils are against his proposals. There is just no way that they will get through. So we don't believe in what he is promising at all, and never have done.
I've come all the way from Coventry today to protest against the board. They're destroying our football club.
If we don't do something now, there will be nothing for the future. It's not just for now, it's for the future.
I mean, it would be a disaster. A big town like Brighton and Hove, etc. A whole county without a football team. It's unthinkable.
What is our major concern is that sooner or later it's going to spill over into public disorder, and that's something that we don't want. We don't condone anything like that. And what we're saying is that to the FA, look, you know, the ball is in your court. You are the custodians of football in this country. Whatever happens with Brighton Hove Albion Football Club is going to end up at your doorstep.
Well, at Lancaster Gate on Saturday, Paul Samra delivered a petition signed by 5,500, including Mr. Archer's bodyguard, demanding the FA charge the Brighton chairman and his board of directors with bringing the game into disrepute.
There you are. It's a petition on behalf of all Brighton supporters, signed by 5,726 people. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Do you expect Mr. Archer to be at today's game?
Oh no, Mr. Archer hasn't been to a game involving Brighton Hove Albion within 60 miles of Brighton for at least the last year.
The whole saga has overshadowed Brighton's decaying form on the field. At any other club, manager Jimmy Case would have been out of a job by now. He doesn't look for excuses. The fans still seem to like him. But Saturday's fixture couldn't have been tougher at the third division leaders Fulham. Yet the bottom club had a big break 20 minutes in. Craig Maskell was fouled inside the area, according to the referee. But Maskell's penalty helped explain why Brighton are 92nd in the league, why Dr. Martin's club Sudbury knocked them out of the FA Cup on penalties. On the Brighton crisis scale, it barely registered a blip for the 1,500 fans who continued to amuse themselves while awaiting the inevitable, a Fulham goal. Two arrived in 12 second-half minutes. One of the country's informed strikers, Mike Conroy, was never going to miss from there. Conroy followed his 17th of the season with a perfectly timed and nicely judged dive. And Fulham had a dubious penalty of their own. But they're top, and they rarely waste chances. Mark Blake's penalty made it 10 defeats and 11 away games for Brighton. Now 6 points adrift at the bottom. If they stay there, all the protests and all the petitions won't stop them dropping out of the league. It's a mess. Afterwards, manager Jimmy Case preferred not to offer his opinions, to even acknowledge the supporters' march. But they care. Their best hope would appear to rest with those outside the club. What is the likely scenario, do you think, come next May?
At the moment, it's very, very gloomy. I don't think we will be we don't think we'll have a club on our hands if the present board stay in place.